game. Jaguars Postgame is brought to you by Baptist Health, Farah and Farah, and by Everbank. Now, to get things started, here's JP Shadrick.
And welcome in. It's Jaguars Postgame presented by Florida Home AC. Call Florida Home AC today. Official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. A disappointing final from Everbank Stadium in Week 2. Chiefs 17, Jaguars 9. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Fred Taylor coming up. Bucky Brooks down outside the Jaguars locker room. We'll hear him with head coach Doug Pederson coming up in just a little bit. Disappointing day. Offense scuffling in the red zone. The Jags defense played well enough to win overall today, but the offense just didn't have what it took when they had the opportunities. A lot of early missed opportunities obviously came back and bit them later in the game when they couldn't cash in the red zone again.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence was not very good today. He missed a lot of opportunities, and now he wasn't aided a whole lot by the protection up front. I mean, Kansas City was swarming him, but even when he had time to threw a lot of just kind of 50-50 balls, on passes that he'd normally complete. Miss Zay Jones wide open in the end zone.
Wide open.
I mean, it's so frustrating in that regard. The offense, JP, never would have believed could be held to 9 points. And I thought the defense was spectacular for most of the day. I thought it was a bad decision to not punt the ball late in the first half when you're pitching a shutout and all of a sudden you give Kansas City, that's what it feels like to get into the end zone. That feeling again, and then they get the ball to open up the second half, and they never trail again. Even though the Jags got the late field goal, they should have been leading at the half, or at least had a chance to put their defense in a position to make them drive the length of the field, and they didn't have to do that. So you had that, and then you had the decision to go for it on 4th and 12 late in the football game. Now, I get it. There's two sides to that argument that, A, you're still going to need another score, so let's take the field goal here. But B, you've also not been down there very much, so let's take advantage of the opportunity while we're here. Don't know if it would have mattered because they couldn't stop Kansas City anyway there. And I just really, to me, this is a day of incredible frustration with the offense. Ridley didn't seem like he was quite in sync today. He had a couple of balls hit his hands that I thought he might have been able to bring in. And not easy catches, but that we've seen that guy in the NFL and in his brief tenure in this offseason with the Jags make the impossible look possible. So
the Jaguars 0 for 3 in the red zone today. Trevor Lawrence in the red zone 0 for 7 passing. They had 4 toe tap misses in the back of the end zone, 2 of those to Zay Jones, 2 of those to Ridley, and then that's on top of the one that was overthrown to Zay Jones where he was open in the back kind of middle right of the end zone. Fred Taylor joining us now, prior to the Jaguars running back. Disappointing day, offense scuffling to 3 field goals, that's it. Defense playing some winning football today overall, Fred. What are your thoughts?
I thought they got what they deserved. If you can't capitalize in the red zone, you can't capitalize off turnovers. I could tell you field goals will not beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs played a good game. They executed when needed. I didn't like the 4th and 5 before the half with 4 minutes left. I think you should not play around with Patrick Mahomes in that type of manner. So I think they'll go back and look at the tape and see everything they did wrong. Got to run the ball. Got to be a bit more patient, especially when you have a guy like Chris Jones who can terrorize your quarterback. You have to find a way to test his football stamina. He had been out the entire preseason, so I think if you had ran the ball, put some double teams on him, you neutralize him a little bit more in the pass game. But he was very effective in the pass game, getting after Trevor Lawrence, had a sack and some other pressures in there. But I think they'll go regroup. The receivers can play better. Christian Kirk had a few drops in there. You guys, Mike mentioned Ridley. He had a couple drops that he would typically catch. So just not a great game for them. They'll go back to the drawing board, and then hopefully they can make that leap and show the rest of the NFL they're capable of being a top-notch team. But it starts with opponents like this. They just couldn't get it done.
Yeah, Fred, I thought the protection was not great for Trevor. Right, got hit a lot, and it was in a lot of kind of dirty pockets in the first half, and I didn't think he had a great game anyway, but is this going to be a theme? Is this a concern for yours going forward that, last week it didn't result in a high sack total or anything like that, but Trevor Lawrence has been under a lot of duress in the first 2 weeks.
Right. You know what? One thing that concerned me, they moved him off his mark. The third sack, right after halftime, Jags get the ball. That third sack, it was disturbing because it was 6 Chiefs defenders. It was 3 of them laying on top of Trevor and 3 just around him. The offensive line was just in the background doing nothing. Pick your quarterback up. You guys showed no effort. At least go pick him up, right? If you're going to give up a sack, go get him off the ground. That's the best you could do. And that's concerning because they just, at that moment, they didn't seem like they even cared.
Did they not care, or were they a little bit demoralized, maybe? You know what I mean?
It's too early in the game to be demoralized. It's still a pretty close game. It was the first possession after halftime, which was the third time they sacked Trevor in the game. Still a lot of ball to go. So you go pick up the quarterback, you let him know that you got his back. That'll make you guys feel better as a unit, and then the quarterback will feel better knowing you have his back. Otherwise, on the flip side, then you start to feeling sorry for yourself, demoralized, if you don't do it. So I think they got to play better up front, totally.
Final score, 17-9, Chiefs over the Jaguars. Penalties in this game. The Chiefs had 12 penalties, 94 yards, 5 of those on Jawan Taylor in the game, and he was pulled out on 1 third down after a second holding penalty in that drive, by the way, for a play. Came back out the next drive. But the Jags, the Chiefs overcame those somehow. Jags only had 2 penalties for the entire game. You don't see that too often.
Right. They played pretty clean in that. They played very clean in the penalty department. They had the big turnover edge in the first half. It was one of those first halves, Fred. It seemed like every close play was being called the Jaguars' way. And I'm not saying they were the wrong calls. We're just not used to seeing that, right, in recent years, where the Jags get all the calls, deserved or not. And despite all that, they could only manage a couple of field goals in the first half.
Right. I mean, the better team somehow – It's either they find a way to get the calls or they just find a way to make it happen. And the Chiefs they're just that good of a team where they find a way to overcome their mistakes. And they didn't play great. JP mentioned 12 penalties, 94 yards, while meanwhile the Jags had 2 for 10 yards. I don't know if that was through being physical or, just lack of focus for the Chiefs, but sometimes you have to have those penalties to say, hey, look, we came to play. And unfortunately for the Jags, they just didn't, they just couldn't get it done. I mean, it's so much to point at. 3 field goals,
Yep.
The red zone miscues,
Yep.
Some drops in there.
Kirk had some struggles. Kirk had some struggles earlier with some drops, hit one in the numbers, but then had some catches late in the game.
Oh, yeah, that one right between the 1 and the 3.
Oh, man.
Probably converts a first down, I think, on that play. I think he was right at the sticks.
So far from what was expected today here at the bank, the Chiefs 17, the Jaguars 9. That's the final in week number 2. The Jaguars fall to 1-1. Plenty ahead. We are out to Bucky Brooks. He's standing by near the Jaguars locker room. Doug Pederson will visit with him coming up. We'll get his thoughts on the loss today here at the bank in the home opener. Plenty more ahead. We are off and running. It's Jaguars postgame on Jaguars Radio.
Maximize your energy savings with a new energy-efficient heating and cooling system from Florida Home Air Conditioning today. Get up to $1,750 back and a free Nest thermostat when Florida Home buys back your old inefficient HVAC system. Expert technicians and flexible payment options are great reasons to call Florida Home today. Florida Home Air Conditioning, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit FloridaHomeAC.com for details, terms, and conditions.
License number CMC 1250399, CFC 1430664, EC 130-08557.
FloridaHomeAC.com.
Everyone circle up. I know it looks rough out there. Sure, we're down 24-6, but we came here to play differently. We need a game changer. Something like Ring Central, the business phone system that's more than a phone. I want you to communicate like you can talk to anyone, anywhere, all from the same app. Now get out there and play like you're using Ring Central.
Ring Central. Simpler communications.
Hear that? That's the sound of the 2023 Chevy Silverado's 2.7-liter high-output turbo engine, delivering 430 pounds per foot of torque with no compromised durability. Impressive power, whether you're helping friends move or just moving some friends.
Thanks!
This is the sound of a family with plenty of rear seat room to enjoy the ride. And most importantly, this is the sound of you heading to your local Chevy dealer today for a test drive. Find your Silverado and find new roads. Chevrolet.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
Jaguars postgame continues, presented by Florida Home AC. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and Fred Taylor from the Hyundai Studios at the bank after a Jaguars loss in Week 2. Chiefs 17, Jaguars 9. Jaguars struggling in the red zone today. The Jags defense playing well enough overall to win the game. The Jaguars won the turnover battle, won the penalty battle by a long distance, but unable to cash them in today. And the Jaguars lose. And it's a tough one to take for a team that had a lot of hope coming into this game, at least, of scoring some points and taking some shots. And they missed some opportunities in the first half. They missed some more opportunities in the second half. They had plenty of them today in this game, Fred. But we heard from Doug Pederson. We'll hear from him coming up with Bucky Brooks in just a little bit. You know, we heard from him leading into this game that in games like this, against teams like this, when you have those moments step up, you got to make the plays, and the Chiefs over the years have been able to do that more often than not. That's why they've won 2 of the last 4 Super Bowls and have all the playoff runs and things like that. They found a way to survive today's game. The Jaguars couldn't make those plays in key moments today.
Yeah, I think they have to just go back and assess everything, reassess everything. There was no balance today. I think they got to be able to run the ball a bit more. And much like I mentioned a minute ago, you knew Chris Jones was returning. You know he's a great player. He can wreak havoc in your passing game, and it showed that he did with the 1.5 sacks and a couple quarterback hits. Find a way to neutralize him. You know, take him away, run the ball, move laterally, not just the up-the-middle stuff, although I felt like there were some up-the-middle opportunities when it was 1st and goal after the pass interference on Ingram. Punch it in there. You know, if you're going to run it up the gut, punch it up in the gut right there on 1st and goal at the 1. So I questioned a couple calls, and that's always tough, you know, on the Monday morning or Sunday night quarterback, I guess. But just not the best calls, in my opinion, with that 4th down and then that 1st down call at the goal line. I think the game would be a bit different outcome if they had either run the ball on the 1 and punted the ball away on that 4th and 5.
Is the offensive line play, was it more due to having a guy like Chris Jones? I mean, Kansas City's defensive line played well in Week 1 even without him, right? Or is this something that's going to be an ongoing concern where it's going to have to impact play calling? Are they going to have to do quicker hitting plays, you know, and kind of mix the bag up a little bit? Because it seems like the offensive line's not getting a ton of push in the run game. You know, the deeper drops are just not there, not available to them because they're not giving Trevor enough time.
I mean, if you're not necessarily running the ball, then there's no threat of play action. You know, those defenders, they can just kind of lower their shoulder pads and, you know, just run 100 miles an hour at the quarterback. So you have to at least have a threat of the run if you're going to do those long action drop backs. But to answer your question, Mike, I think there are different schemes you can draw up to help those guys. You know, even if they're struggling, you can send the backs out. You know, you can ask that they chip on the way out to their routes, and then you have checkdowns available. The line did struggle, in my opinion. But Chris Jones definitely – you know, he's a beast out there, and it's the reason he was holding out, trying to be the highest paid defender or D lineman in the game. And they knew it. You know, after losing Week 1, they knew that they needed him back. And he's just a presence. So him coming back created more energy for their defensive front, and they got after Trevor today.
Final score 17-9, Chiefs over the Jaguars.
Day on 3rd down offensively, anything that carried over, any trend that 3 of 12 the last 2 weeks on 3rd down?
I mean, the glaring thing is just our execution, right, on offense. Again, we were in too many second and long and then, turned into third and long situations. You just can't put yourself as an offense, can't put yourself in those situations too many times. I mean, it's not favorable to do that, and we got to take a look at this tape and figure that out.
Red zone last week, a lot of success, 3 for 3. Today, early fourth quarter, you got the ball up at 1. Last week you went to tank. You didn't have a touch today. Any feelings on not having a running back touch the ball and carries at the goal line?
No, I mean, listen, it's we need to score there. I mean, that's the thing. And with the first play, we had a run dialed up and didn't execute well. We didn't get it in the end zone. And just got to take a look at everything. But it's not about who's in the game or who's getting the touch or anything like that. Travis, Tank, DeEarnest, all three of those guys are very capable of doing it. And so it's not that. We just got to look at what we're doing and making sure we're, putting our guys in position to be successful.
The defense today, 3 turnovers, seemed like a successful outing against a team like Kansas City. Just what did you see out there? And then why, I guess, wasn't the offense able to do anything with those turnovers, basically?
Yeah, defense played well. I mean, defense kept us in this football game, created the takeaways you mentioned. And as I said, it's just execution. We've got to do better. We've got to execute. We got too many guys on offense, veteran players that just we all need to do better, starting with me.
Doug, just how different was this from the playoff game last year defensively from what you saw of the Chiefs? And the other thing that I was going to ask also was, until the very end, you were in this game. Any score could have tied this game or given you the lead. So, looking back on that, just kind of your thoughts on that one as well.
Yeah, I mean, last year. We moved forward. I mean, it's obviously a good football team, and they did a lot of the same stuff they did last year to us, so it wasn't anything that we did not expect. But again, you play good teams, you play well-coached teams, you can't beat yourself. And that's what we did today. We beat ourselves, Yes, the defense, yes, special teams played well, but it takes all 3 phases, right? That's what football teams do, and we didn't do that well enough today. The opportunities were there. And we didn't do it. We gotta look at this film and be hard and critical of ourselves and bounce back next week.
Doug, what's your level of surprise, concern that the execution, the offensive rhythm and flow hasn't been there, despite the fact almost everybody coming back year 2 in the system?
I mean, you look at it in practice. I mean, the guys are doing it in practice. It's we just got to make sure we carry over, to the game and. As coaches, we got to make sure we're doing the right things and not doing too much, just putting our guys in position and letting them go play. And then as players, we just got to execute the plays and execute what we see, and we just again it's something that we all have to be accountable for it, myself included, and make sure that we get it corrected.
Doug, following up on the offensive execution, what is your concern level with the offensive line, specifically with Anton Harrison? I know he had a tough matchup, but it's 2 weeks in a row that he's had some troubles out there.
I got all the confidence in the world in Anton, and listen, Chris Jones is a great player. He's a great player. I mean, he's a very good player, right? And Anton's a great player. This is a great game for Anton to learn from, right? And look, it's week 2, and there's a lot of football ahead of us. It's a good football team sitting in that locker room right now, and we're going to get this thing fixed and turned around and headed in the right direction.
Doug, you guys were up 3-0. You had a 4th and 5 at the KC 45. It had been obviously a defensive struggle up to that point. What went into your thinking to go for it there? Were you enough on the other side of midfield that you wanted to?
Yeah, I mean, I knew their offense wasn't like playing extremely well at the time, right? I mean, we had some opportunities, but I just wanted to stay aggressive right there, and that was just my decision to be aggressive and stay on the field. We just didn't execute.
Doug, I know This is the second game the press has called the entire play. I know you commented last week that obviously there were some things that may be a little bit clunky. It's a group effort, but how would you assess his second game calling an entire game?
It's fine. Listen, this game, sometimes it's not about the plays. Now we have to coach the plays better so the guys understand exactly what to do and how to react to what the defense is presenting. But I learned a long time ago that players play this football game and coaches coach. We coach better. The players will ultimately play better. So it starts with us. And if we're going to evaluate everything and make sure that we're putting our guys in the right places. But I thought Press did a nice job today.
Good time for a couple more.
When it was 17-9, about 5 minutes left, 4th and 12, was there any thoughts about kicking a field goal there, or was that just, again, another thing about staying aggressive?
If the backwards pass would have put us back maybe in 4th and 15-ish, 4th and 14, yeah, I would have kicked it there. 4th and 12, you're taking a shot to the end zone anyway, so not a big deal.
On a day where it looked clunky and didn't feel good, how do you avoid overreacting? Where your Trevor missed open receivers and offensive linemen struggled to block and nothing seemed to work. How do you keep a team from overreacting?
It's week two. I mean, my gosh. It's week 2. We're 1-1. We're in a great spot. We lost to a good football team today. We didn't play great. Guys know that. Guys are going to rally. Guys are going to bounce back. We're going to be better next week. A lot of football ahead of us. And that's the exciting part about it. And those guys are ticked off in there. They're mad and they know it. And but it's so early in this season that one game's not going to define who we are, and it's not going to define our season.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Who's struggling right now. They lost today by 11 to the Colts, a team that Jacksonville just beat a week ago. But you have to bring your best. No matter who the opponent is, you got to bring your best week in, week out. Go and assess this film. Say, okay, we gave it our shot, and we'll see him again. You have to think that you're going to see him again.
Yeah, I think, when the schedule came out, if you're trying to be a little bit objective about how the Jaguars season is going to go, you look at this one as one of the potential losses on the schedule, right, when it first comes out, because you got the Super Bowl champs coming in. But I think it's the way that they lost that is the thing that's going to bother people the most. Like, this is not – we don't know what team we have here, at least through 2 weeks. I know they scored 31 in the first week, but it seems like both weeks the defense has been the stronger of the two units, and no way we would have thought that coming in here. So the fact that, you only gave up or only were able to get 9 points today against Kansas City, I think that's the big frustrating thing, Fred. I mean, look, it wouldn't have been great if you gave up 30, but if you lost 30-27, you probably would have been able to deal with that a little bit better.
All right, guys, let's go down the hallway. Bucky Brooks standing by with Jaguars head coach Doug Pederson. Bucky?
Coach, thoughts on a tough loss today? It's always going to be about us. I thought the defense played well enough. They kept us in this football game. They were opportunistic, creating takeaways. Gave us a short field a couple times. Special teams, came up big for us. Offense, we got to look at ourselves in the mirror. We got to do better. And, we've got too many veteran guys, great leadership on there. I know we'll fix it, and I know we'll get it better. These guys are too prideful. But offensively, not good enough to win today. No, not good enough to win, but it's the early part of the season, and you've talked about like it being a process to kind of find your identity and those things, like what you think the team may be. You play a couple of games, and then you kind of figure it out. Is this part of the maturation process to kind of figuring out, because every team is different? It is, and I think that's the thing about where we are. I mean, it is week 2. Obviously, there's no panic button and all that. There's a lot of football ahead of us, and but we need to learn, as a team. We need not only learn from this game, and we will, but I think this needs to be a motivating type game for us the rest of this season, right? Okay, last week you didn't play very well, but you score 31, defense play. You're playing a good football team. You can't keep making those same mistakes, right? This is a league where you have to show improvement each week, and it is early. It's still the month of September, but I know our guys will get it fixed, our coaches will get it fixed, and we'll be better for it.
Question, so from a coaching standpoint, when you're looking at the game and you're watching it play out, the defense playing well, the special teams there, the offense is struggling. Does that change your strategies at all about whether to go for it, whether not to go for it, how to play it out?
No, you still play the game. We didn't hold up in protection very well. We kept ourselves in second long, which turned into third and longs, which, and then you get Chris Jones coming off the edge. I mean, he's a great pass rusher, obviously, and they compress the pocket. And, that's where we shot ourselves. We got to do better. Look at first down. We got to do better on first down and see what's happening there. And it just kind of snowballed. But I don't think again, as a staff or as decision makers, we don't panic. We don't try to do anything crazy. We had opportunities, we hit Christian, late in the game. We're down in the third quarter, I think it was. We hit him. Oh, man, he breaks a tackle. We're in the end zone. We're feeling better about ourselves. We're at the 1 yard line. You score. You're feeling better. It's a different ball game, right? Yeah. But those are the plays we got to make.
Yeah, those are the plays we got to make. So we got a big game next week against the Houston Texans. How quickly can you turn the page to begin to focus on them?
Well, after tomorrow, we'll get the guys in, and we'll take a look at this game and evaluate it, make the corrections, and move on to Houston. It's a division opponent coming in here, and we got to get it fixed in a hurry. And we're going to evaluate it as a staff, and seeing if we're maybe doing too much, maybe there's too much in, maybe whatever. We just got to make sure we're doing the right thing for our players and making sure that they can play fast, and really evaluate to see if we're utilizing the strength of the offense, right, and things of that nature. So. All things are fixable. All things are correctable, and we got a good one next weekend.
Well, we look forward to seeing you fix some of those mistakes. Come out and have a better effort next week.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Head coach Doug Pederson with Bucky Brooks after a Jaguars loss, 17-9 the final. Chiefs over the Jags. Plenty more ahead when we return. Jags fall to 1-1 on this Sunday afternoon. This is Jaguars Postgame on Jaguars Radio.
Maximize your energy savings with a new energy-efficient heating and cooling system from Florida Home Air Conditioning today. Get up to $1,750 back and a free Nest thermostat when Florida Home buys back your old inefficient HVAC system. Expert technicians and flexible payment options are great reasons to call Florida Home today. Florida Home Air Conditioning, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit FloridaHomeAC.com for details, terms, and conditions.
License number CMC 1250399, CFC 1430664, EC 130-08557.
FloridaHomeAC.com.
It's football season and time to take your game to the next level with a Ford F-150 truck. Light up your tailgate with an available Pro Power onboard generator. And with an available 3.5-liter EcoBoost engine, you can tow just about anything you need to rule the stadium lot. Ford F-150, part of the F-Series lineup that have been the best-selling pickups for 46 straight years. Get to your local Ford store today. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Brooks Rehabilitation has more than 50 years of experience serving the North Florida community with cutting-edge rehabilitation care, ranging from joint replacements, sports injuries, and balance issues to traumatic brain injuries, spinal cord injuries, and strokes. Their highly trained clinical teams span across their system of care to include inpatient, outpatient, skilled nursing, assisted living and memory care, home health, and adaptive community programs. Learn more at brooksrehab.org. Brooks is proud to be the rehabilitation provider for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
When it comes to water, choose our team, the winning team. Choose CGC Water Treatment. CGC Water Treatment works, and it works for DG too, former Jags QB, David Garrard.
If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Discover the Kinetico difference.
Call CGC Water Treatment at 844-CGC-JAGS or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Kinetico dealers.
Hey Jags fans, Everbank is driven by performance, strength, and security. Start building your legacy today with Everbank's Yield Pledge accounts. all of which deliver a yield in the top 5% of competitive accounts nationwide. Visit everbank.com/Jaguars for your earned advantage. Everbank, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC continues. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Fred Taylor from the Hyundai Studios at Everbank Stadium after a loss in Week 2. Chiefs 17, Jaguars 9. We just heard from head coach Doug Pederson. You know, don't hit the panic button. That's one of his comments he had there. They're going to go back and figure some things out. Get ready for the Texans next week. That's all you can do, Fred. It's Week 3 coming up this week out of 17 games in 18 weeks.
Right. He said you can't keep making the same mistakes and everything's correctable. They got to get out there and make sure that's the case. You know, I think those guys up front, it comes down to effort. If you're going to continue to make the same mistakes, at least have effort in doing so. They didn't look great, but he also said this should be a motivating type game. You know, go back and look at the things that you didn't do great, which was the red zone. You didn't run the ball well. You didn't protect great. Now you go and try and tighten those areas up. And as long as it's on film, those guys can see what they did wrong. As the season goes along and the reps start to come forward, they'll start playing better. And hopefully that better play will equate to wins.
Yeah, look, I mean, the one coming up is honestly more important in the short-term picture. It's a division game, but, you know, you look and in the end, Houston's not going to be a contender in the AFC. So, you know, you're losing the opportunity to get the head-to-head on Kansas City. But this is a game you've got to take care of your business in Week 3. At home, in the division, win that game, because all of a sudden you look up, Atlanta's 2-0, and that's a team that you're going to have to face in the first of 2 in London. Buffalo seemed to have hit their stride today. So, you know, take advantage of those. There aren't. I wouldn't say that it's a gimme. There's no gimmies in the NFL, Fred, but there are teams that are clearly you're in better position to beat. So they got to get back on the horse and go prove that this week.
Without a doubt, Mike. I remember back in the day, I didn't understand anything about how this whole division stuff worked when I first came in the NFL. But I remember vividly the one thing Coach Coughlin always hammered away was winning the divisional games, you know, and then winning the division. Then because it comes down to certain tiebreakers, this, that, et cetera, we'd have liked to have seen them win today.
Sure.
Versus a team as the Chiefs, the defending Super Bowl champs. You want to see them win, especially after a year ago they got knocked out by the Chiefs. And we think that this team is ready to make that leap. Although it didn't happen, they can reset, go back, and win the games you're supposed to win. You mentioned a divisional opponent at home, a team that's struggling, young quarterback, young across the board. You got to win that one. If you want to let the NFL or put the league on notice that you are for real and last year wasn't a fluke, you got to win those matchups. You give yourself an opportunity to win the division.
Time now for the Kingfish Pest Control defensive play of the game. The Jaguars had 3 takeaways, 2 of those on defense today, including on the back end from Andre Sisco.
Mahomes drops, looks, hit as he let it go. That ball's downfield and is going to be picked off by Andre Sisco. A diving interception inside the 15, around the 13 of Jacksonville.
4th career interception for Andre Sisco, and the Kingfish Pest Control defensive play of the game. Let the pros tackle the pests in your home by going to kingfishpest.com. That's kingfishpest.com. Plenty ahead. Let's come back in a moment. We'll look at the final stats. Trevor Lawrence still scheduled to visit the podium down the hall. We'll try to check in with the quarterback after a loss today. Chiefs 17, Jaguars 9. It's Jaguars postgame on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called The Vault. Enter today at jaguars.com/shadows. One winner a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase to enter or win, must be 18 or older and a legal resident of Florida or Georgia. Promotion period 9/5/23 through 12/15/23. For official rules and complete details, visit jaguars.com. Sponsored by Jacksonville Jaguars, LLC.
Cancer patients across the Southeast make Baptist MD Anderson Cancer Center in Jacksonville their first choice for treatment. Dr. Jonathan Melquist explains why.
We have so many resources that can help a patient from the very onset, and we just have a degree of unity and cohesive care that is hard to match. It's especially with the tougher cancers that we really excel.
Appointments available now. Call 844-632-2278.
Jaguars fans, huddle up. Do you own a vehicle made in the last 10 years? If your car is outside of factory warranty or with no warranty coverage, get the best defense against expensive auto repairs with CarShield, the official auto protection partner of the Jaguars. With plans to fit every budget, CarShield helps you cover up to 5,000 parts and systems. Call 800-471-1223 now or go to carshield.com/Jaguars. That's 800-471-1223 or go to carshield.com/Jaguars. Go Jags!
Hear that? That's the sound of the 2023 Chevy Silverado's 2.7-liter high-output turbo engine, delivering 430 pounds per foot of torque with no compromised durability. Impressive power, whether you're helping friends move or just moving some friends.
Thanks!
This is the sound of a family with plenty of rear seat room to enjoy the ride. And most importantly, this is the sound of you heading to your local Chevy dealer today for a test drive. Find your Silverado and find new roads. Chevrolet.
Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC continues. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Fred Taylor from the Hyundai Studios. Final score, Chiefs 17, Jaguars 9. Let's take a look at the Everbank final stats. And, the Jaguars won some categories today that usually when you win some of these categories, you win football games. Not the case on this Sunday. Overall yardage, total yardage in favor of Kansas City, 399 to 271. Rushing yardage, 101 to 74 in favor of Kansas City. Passing net yardage, 298 for Kansas City, 197 for the Jags. Neither team did very well on third down. Kansas City, 4 of 13. The Jaguars, 3 of 12 on third downs. Penalties, 12 for 94 yards against the Chiefs, 2 for 10 yards against the Jaguars. Kansas City turned it over 3 times, one of those on a muff punt, 2 others on offense. And the Jaguars turned it over once in the game. Time of possession in favor of Kansas City at the end of the day, 31 minutes, 49 seconds. They held the football. I mean, that many penalties and that many turnovers, a lot of times, most times, equates to a win. The most notable figures today, though, are in the red zone. Jaguars 0 for 3 in the red zone. Trevor Lawrence 0 for 7 passing in the red zone. Mike?
Which leads to the individual stats, and when you've got a guy on your team who completed 1 pass for -1 yard and he has a higher quarterback rating than you probably didn't have your best day. And that was the case today. Christian Kirk's quarterback rating was 79.2. Trevor Lawrence's was 68.8. Lawrence 22 of 41, 216. No picks, no touchdowns either. Was sacked 4 times. Patrick Mahomes threw it 41 times, completed 29 for 305 yards and a pair of touchdowns. He was picked by Andre Sisco, as you mentioned a moment ago, JP. Travis Etienne with 12 carries on the day, good for 40 yards. Isaiah Pacheco had 1 carry in the first half, ended up with 12 on the game, good for 70 yards, so nearly 6 yards a clip there. Big difference, and Mahomes chipped in with 30 on the ground as well. Trevor Lawrence scrambled 5 times for 26. Christian Kirk, the big day, statistically 11 grabs, 110 yards for the Jags. Evan Ingram had 6 for 57. Sky Moore led the way. He had that long 54-yard catch, had the touchdown as well. 3 for 70 for the Chiefs. Justin Watson caught the 34-yarder to contribute to a 3 for 62 day, and the Jags held Travis Kelce to 4 for 26. He did score the touchdown, but you'd take those numbers almost every time you play against Travis Kelce. Defensively for the Jags, Devin Lloyd led the way with 11 total tackles, 5 solos. Foye Oluokun right behind with 6 and 4 solos and assists. And the 1 sack on the day belonged to K'Lavon Chaisson, who got Patrick Mahomes. And I thought struggled to bring him down, honestly, but nevertheless he gets the sack, and we'll give him credit there. No other Jaguar able to get Mahomes on the ground.
There you have it, the final stats, Fred, and let's go through some of these red zone incompletions. So we mentioned Lawrence's numbers there, and there were 4 kind of toe tap back of the end zone end line situations. 2 for Zay Jones, where he caught the ball, got 1 foot in, just couldn't get it in. Good defense, back line. That happened twice for Zay. It happened twice for Ridley as well. The balls are there. It's just tight coverage in a tight area, and then the one overthrow, of course, to Zay on the kind of the right side of the end zone near the back line. So just a little tick off today between the receivers and the quarterback.
Yeah, they were just a bit off. But, I think Trevor was doing everything he's coached to do. Typically, if the ball is in the back of the end zone, you want it high and hard. And if it's at the front near the pylon, obviously you want it more so low and hard towards the ground. It's just a bit off. A couple of them were so close. Toe tap there by Zay, and then the one where Ridley ended up hitting the goalpost. So just really close, man. Football, it goes back to a game of inches. Just a bit off, and that'll cost you, in the long run or the outcome of the game. But again, they'll go back and look at these plays and say, man, we were so close. And much like what Coach Pederson said, there's no need to panic. It's still not the outcome we all expected or wanted, but still a decently played game. They didn't get blown out. They were down by a score. They lost by a score, kicked 3 field goals, had their miscues. Certainly still a good team. They just got to find a way to execute, capitalize, and come away with wins.
Like Doug Pederson said, it's always about us. I mean, lack of execution in moments today, Mike. That's what it was.
A lot of it was about them. I mean, I'll give some credit to the Chiefs' D-line as well, making plays. But you're right. Look, it's not even the 50-50 kind of shots there that were just off. It's like Zay Jones was flashing wide open through the back of the end zone on that one, and Trevor missed him by 5 feet over his head. Like that. Those are the ones, Fred, that kill you. You got to have that. I mean, the one on 4th down to Ridley was almost an impossible pass to squeeze in there anyway. You know what I mean? It's just the easy ones, the layups, and there weren't that many opportunities, but when they come, you can't miss them.
No, you can't miss them. You want to make sure you try to execute those, and they'll get them back. I'm pretty sure Trevor will go and study his film and get back on his A game next week.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Jaguars Radio Network. Jaguars postgame continues. Final score, Chiefs 17, Jaguars 9. Trevor Lawrence is headed toward the media room, and we will listen in live to what the quarterback has to say after a Jaguars loss. And let's go, in just a moment, we'll go down the hallway. Trevor today, 22 of 41 passing, 216 yards, struggles in the red zone all around on offense today. And as we just talked about, the back line of the end zone, just a tick off today in a few different areas. Unable to get it done. 3 field goals for the Jags, not enough against the Kansas City Chiefs, who put up 17 today in a winning result for the Chiefs. Both teams now at 1-1, and the Jaguars next week will host the Houston Texans, and then it's on to London, by the way. That's a couple of weeks away from now when the Jaguars host the Falcons at Wembley, and then the week after that visit the Bills at Tottenham Hotspur. That's down the road. We'll get to that in due time. There's plenty to discuss after this game today as the Jaguars fall to the Chiefs here at Everbank Stadium in the home opener for 2023.
Trevor, you guys were really good on 3rd down last year. The first 2 games this season, I think it's been 3 of 12 both outings. Is there anything you can pinpoint that why the situational football on 3rd down hasn't been as good as it was last year?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different things that are contributing to us not being good on 3rd down. We're just not executing really at every position at different times. Whether it's the throw at times, a protection, a drop, whatever it is, we're all just having, some mistakes in critical situations, and we just got to play better. We got to make the plays for one another at times. We got to make it easier on each other, and I think right now we're just had some, obviously some issues, and whether it's communication or what, we got to look and we got to fix it. We didn't play well at all situationally, 3rd down or red zone today.
you had 41 pass attempts and ran it 5 times, but only 12 carries by the backs. What went on today as far as the lack of flow, when it came to running the ball, particularly with those running backs?
I thought we had a lot of miscues, especially early on in the game on first downs. And I think that hurt us. That put us in some second and longs, and that defense does a really good job. They bring a lot of pressures. They try to secure the edges and stop the runs and do things like that. And I think a lot of times too, we ended up getting the ball on the perimeter on plays where that's basically a run. If they bring a pressure and you spit the ball out, I think we had 6 or 7 of those today. So, and those are times too where a run might be called and you get the ball out on the perimeter, and so it makes it look like we didn't have a ton of runs to the backs today. But that defense does a good job of packing the box and bringing pressure. But I would say the biggest thing is we got to be better on first down and not getting second and long, and then you feel like you got to kind of get some back, and just didn't have much success with it today.
2-part for you, Trevor. First, for you, immediate aftermath of this one, who do you talk to? What's the conversation with the coaching staff? And secondly, did you feel like the play calling and the order of plays perhaps was disjointed, and that led to the choppy nature of not maybe getting a fluid offense today?
No, I think we I'd have to go back and watch the game and kind of see it all. Obviously, it's fresh, and a lot just happened, and the in-the-game situation is kind of what I'm thinking about most in my head, and where we just didn't execute. But no, I think as players we got to execute better. We had too many mistakes. Some fluke plays too, like the trying to get the ball to Ag, and it ends up being a fumble, and they recover it at midfield and stuff like that. We didn't get a 4th down early on. Obviously in the red zone, like I said, I think we were 0 for 4. And when our defense is playing as good as they are and their offense is sputtering like they did today, and obviously we were too, we got to capitalize on those opportunities in the red zone. And we had our opportunities, and we had a couple plays that were that close, whether it's in the back of the end zone where we make the catch and they push us out or whatever it is. We just got to find a way to make those plays. I missed a throw or two in the red zone where we had a chance. We got 1st and goal on the 1-yard line and end up kicking a field goal when we're down 8. That was a big possession when you look back at the game. So just had a lot of opportunities as disjointed as some of the things kind of were throughout the game. It was just a sloppy game, I think, all over the place, but we had our opportunities. We were in the red zone 4 times and came away with 9 points. And that's, can't do that. You're not going to beat good teams when you do that. So we got to be better.
Trevor, just expanding on that a little bit more, what you can say about the opportunities that the defense created today and just their level of play in this game.
Played great. They're flying around. Back-to-back weeks, they played awesome. Kept the teams out of the end zone, have created turnovers, given us good field position on numerous occasions. It's just we got to be better. We got to help them out. They were on the field a lot today. We had a lot of bad possessions where we put them. They'd get a turnover, we put them right back on the field, and really just their back was against the wall the whole day. And they played great. And we got to play better. We got to help them. That was just bad by us.
Trevor, when you walked off the field today, how would you describe your emotion of not getting your offense not getting into the end zone for an entire game, which is pretty big rarity?
Yeah, it's just we're better than that, and we're a better team, we're a better offense than that, and I think that's what's disappointing is when you know what you're capable of, and the guys that we have, whether it's up front, myself, the running backs, receivers, we got. So many weapons. We got to be able to put points on the board and score, and it's kind of embarrassing. It's a similar feeling, honestly, to when we played Houston here last year, and just didn't get anything going. Had some just bad plays, bad execution, let them hang around all game, and then and same thing. Our defense played great that game too, and we just got to help them, and we got to play better.
Trevor, you level of concern with almost everybody back with the offense, second year in the system, that it hasn't just gone more smoothly. Is that a big issue for you, or is that just more of a week-to-week thing?
No, it's something we got to fix, so it is an issue. Obviously, we're not we scored a lot of points last week, but still didn't. I don't think we played to our standard and how good we can play. And this week, not even close. Every play, every series, there's something we all can do better. Really sloppy. So I wouldn't say I'm not concerned, but it's something we got to fix. It's definitely an issue. So we got to all look in the mirror and, be accountable and be critical of ourselves. It's all of us. There's, like the guys talked about after the game, just there's plays that we all missed on different series, different plays, whatever it is, and we got to make them. We got to make those plays, and that's what the good and great teams do. And we didn't do it today, but I'm not concerned, but we got to do it.
Trevor, you used the words disappointing and frustrating. Doug said ticked and mad in the locker room. Can you just give us maybe an idea of how pissed off you guys are with the performance?
Yeah, I mean, you wait. This is a team that beat us in the playoffs last year, and you kind of have that fresh in your mind all off season. And schedule comes out, you get week 2, got Kansas City, and obviously took care of business week 1, and then we get our shot here at home and lay an egg offensively. It's pretty frustrating. Yeah, pretty frustrating, especially like I said, when you feel like you let your defense down when they played so well, got so many turnovers, were flying around. I mean, it was fun to watch those guys, but yeah, it's definitely really, really frustrating when you leave that much out there, especially being in the red zone, like I said, 4 times and no points, and you just think back to all those plays. If you score on one of those possessions, game's completely different. If we score on that one, we got on the 1 yard line, we score on that possession, get the 2-point conversion, it's a tie game. So there's a lot of things, but it's definitely really frustrating. Good, thanks. Appreciate y'all.
Christian Kirk here. Even though he had the big drop on 4th down, I mean, everybody had something go wrong today. Andre Sisco had the pick, but he also could have had a pick 6. On top of that, 11 catches for 110 yards on 14 targets. So even with that drop, Fred, Christian Kirk pretty efficient today. And Doug Pederson just laid it out this week that, he's a man beater. He's going to get more opportunities this week, and kind of telegraphed it was coming, and he still was able to step up and have a pretty high volume game.
Well, I got to follow you, Mike. He did bounce back from a week ago, didn't have many pass opportunities. This week, 14 targets, 11 receptions. He did have the big drops there on, I remember, a 3rd down drop. But he was 1 for 1 in the pass game, so we got to give him credit for that. He would be my player network, my player.
Jaguar Radio Network.
Jaguar Radio Network player of the game, because I don't get a vote.
Yeah, you do.
Well, I mean,
I don't
get a vote for myself.
Yeah, you did a great job today.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I did.
Upstairs.
I was flawless.
You were. Let's make it unanimous then. Christian Kirk, now with his 8th career 100-yard receiving effort in his career, now 5th with the Jaguars. He is the Jaguars Radio Network Player of the Game. If you're looking for the MVP of the truck game, look no further than Ford F-150, loaded with impressive capabilities and designed to dominate work, play, and everything in between. This truck makes tough look easy. Your local Ford dealer, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, will return with the Baptist Health injury report after Jaguars lost 17-9 Chiefs over the Jags. It's Jaguars Postgame on Jaguars Radio.
Maximize your energy savings with a new energy-efficient heating and cooling system from Florida Home Air Conditioning today. Get up to $1,750 back and a free Nest thermostat when Florida Home buys back your old inefficient HVAC system. Expert technicians and flexible payment options are great reasons to call Florida Home today. Florida Home Air Conditioning, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit FloridaHomeAC.com for details, terms, and conditions.
License number CMC 1250399, CFC 1430664, EC 130-08557.
FloridaHomeAC.com.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
It's football season and time to take your game to the next level with a Ford F-150 truck. Light up your tailgate with an available Pro Power onboard generator. And with an available 3.5-liter EcoBoost engine, you can tow just about anything you need to rule the stadium lot. Ford F-150, part of the F-Series lineup that have been the best-selling pickups for 46 straight years. Get to your local Ford store today. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey, Jags fans, Everbank is driven by performance, strength, and security. Start building your legacy today with Everbank's Yield Pledge accounts, all of which deliver a yield in the top 5% of competitive accounts nationwide. Visit everbank.com/Jaguars for your earned advantage. Everbank, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit Barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbecue.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
As the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Publix is helping fans gear up for game day with the limited-time Jaguars sub. Piled high with hot deli chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, cheddar cheese, coleslaw, and barbecue mayonnaise on a white sub roll. The Jaguars sub is an easy, delicious meal for any fan. Make it an ultimate game day by ordering the Jaguars sub online for in-store pickup. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC continues. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Fred Taylor from the Hyundai Studios. The injury report presented by Baptist Health and the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute, the official sports medicine provider of the Jags. Well, if you guys came up in the game today, dinged for a moment, but came back in the game later. Zay Jones with a knee issue in the second quarter, questionable to return. He did return. Josh Allen with a shoulder issue late third, came back in the game. Andre Sisco, the guys in the booth said he was limping around on the sideline. He came back in the fourth quarter. And Travis Etienne was dealing with cramps on the sideline at one point in the football game. Those are the notable ones today for the Jaguars. Overall, at least, the guys who are the offensive linemen who had ankle issues after last week's game started and played throughout the day. Today. That's a look at the injury report. Let's come back in a moment. One final segment, our final thoughts on this one. A loss for the Jaguars, 17-9 Chiefs over the Jags. It's Jaguars postgame on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at jaguars.com/shadows. One winner a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase to enter or win, must be 18 or older and a legal resident of Florida or Georgia. Promotion period 9/5/23 through 12/15/23. For official rules and complete details, visit jaguars.com. Sponsored by Jacksonville Jaguars, LLC.
Cancer patients across the Southeast make Baptist MD Anderson Cancer Center in Jacksonville their first choice for treatment. Dr. Jonathan Melquist explains why.
We have so many resources that can help a patient from the very onset, and we just have a degree of unity and cohesive care that is hard to match. It's especially with the tougher cancers that we really excel.
Appointments available now. Call 844-632-2278.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
As the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Publix is helping fans gear up for game day with the limited-time Jaguars sub. Piled high with hot deli chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, cheddar cheese, coleslaw, and barbecue mayonnaise on a white sub roll. The Jaguars sub is an easy, delicious meal for any fan. Make it an ultimate game day by ordering the Jaguars sub online for in-store pickup. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Final moments, Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC. Call Florida Home AC today, official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Fred Taylor in the Hyundai Studios. The 50-50 raffle is brought to you by the Duval Motor Company in Stadium raffle today, and the winning share brings home $28,771. Wow. The winning number, 299-624-39299. Good luck. You want to write that down, Fred?
I was trying to. That's a lot of numbers.
Yeah, it is. 299-624-39299. Good luck. Thank you for playing and supporting the Jaguars Foundation. Okay, how do they pick up the pieces here, Fred?
Are you sure those are the right numbers?
That's what I was told.
Okay.
That's what I was told.
That's a lot of numbers.
Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just passing it along.
I ain't got it, but
you didn't win?
No, I didn't win.
Okay. Are
but
you eligible?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I am kicking butt in Mike Dempsey's fantasy league.
He is.
Boy.
Auto pick saved me.
The guy, double books himself, JP. He's doing the Pivot podcast while we're doing the draft.
It's hard to keep up with everything. He's got a lot going on.
I'll take whatever they give me in the draft. And he's just, going to be 2-0 after 2 weeks.
I am a great coach. Don't undercut me. Don't
undersell
me.
This is true. You really are managing the auto-drafted team very well.
That's right.
So far.
That's right. But I beat David Garrard in week 1, too, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow, you're just naming names.
PG.
Just throwing names out there.
That's right. You're next. You were next. And then Mike at some point during the season.
I'm not playing. I'm not in the league. How do the Jaguars pick up the pieces from today's loss?
They got to watch film. Obviously, they got to find a way to be better in the red zone. And also try and find a way to be better and capitalize off turnovers, find a way to get points off turnovers. They're not far off. I think they got to find some better protection schemes up front or require for the the running backs to chip on their way through to try and slow those defenders down and run the ball. You have a pretty good set of running backs. Try to call more run plays.
Yeah, Zach Moss had a big day running the ball against Houston today, so no reason why Travis Etienne can. I think protection's the number one thing here. It leads to everything. It leads to the lack of effectiveness in the run game, at least with the offensive line, not protection strictly, but then Trevor Lawrence is, kind of getting knocked around back there today, and if he has time, I think we'll see what we expect to see out of him, but that's going to be the question. Will he have that kind of time this year?
Well, we'll find out next week. The Houston Texans come to town. Fred, we'll talk to you this week. Have a good one.
I appreciate it, Mike. You're right. Offset that by running the ball.
Bring it. Let's
Try
do
to
it.
run the ball.
Hey, next Sunday can't get here soon enough because
Right.
I do think we're going to see a different outcome.
Yep, I agree.
Moving along to
Back
week
in the
3.
bank.
Back in the bank. Coming up this Sunday at 1 o'clock. Mike Dempsey, Fred Taylor, our entire crew. I'm JP Shadrick. Thank you for listening. For those on our flagship station, stick around. The Scoreboard Show is next. Bucky Brooks in studio to recap this one today. A final score of Chiefs 17, Jaguars 9 on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Welcome to the Jaguars Scoreboard Show. This is your chance, Jaguars fans, to sound off about today's game. Now, waiting to hear from you, here are Mike Dempsey, Bucky Brooks, and JP Shadrick.
Welcome in. It's the Scoreboard Show. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and Bucky Brooks from the Hyundai Studios after a Jaguars loss to the Kansas City Chiefs, 17-9, the final score. Phone lines open, 355-NFL1, 355-6351. Your calls coming up. Fred Taylor out of here. Bucky Brooks is in. The Jaguars did not get in the end zone today, unfortunately. They were 0 for 3 in the red zone. Trevor 0 for 7 in the red zone passing. 3 field goals. The defense played really winning football again today, but not enough against this Chiefs team. 17-9, a lot to dissect today, Bucky.
Yeah, disappointing effort in terms of the offense. Like, you feel bad about that because from a complimentary football standpoint, defense played solid. Special teams came up with a big turnover, did a really good job with the field position. But offensively, what was supposed to be the strength of the team, we struggled for 2 weeks in a row. And then today, a situation where you have Chris Jones, everyone knows he's the guy, and you can't protect the quarterback because you can't get number 95 taken care of. That's the issue.
Is the protection the big thing right now, Bucky, or is Trevor Lawrence just a little bit off right now?
Both. I mean, like, we got to call a spade a spade. This is where we expected him to take a major jump. If this team is going to be a title contender, the quarterback has to play at a Pro Bowl or an All-Star level. He hasn't played at that level the first 2 games of the season. Today, he certainly didn't do it. In these games, particularly in the AFC, it comes down to quarterback play. Yep. It comes down to our quarterback has to outplay the quarterback on the other side. I can't say that Pat Mahomes played great, but he certainly played better than Trevor, and Trevor has to be able to play at a level where we can compete because he holds his own against the other quarterback.
They had opportunities in that red zone today, and there were 4 instances of toe taps on the back line that they got 1 foot in, caught the ball, or, if they got 2, they didn't come down with the ball. Ball's on the hands of the receiver either way. I mean, they are just, a fraction of an inch away from multiple touchdowns today in there.
Yeah, just like a lot of long foul balls, as we would say.
That's right.
Close, but not able to get it in. Some of that is the protection, breaking down guys in Trevor's face, or he's hurting. Some of that is Trevor just failing to put it right on the spot. Some of that the receiver's not catching the ball cleanly. But whatever it is, the execution has to be at a higher level for this team to realize their potential. It's only week 2, but you're disappointed in the fact that this was a game that we walk away feeling like, man, we lost that one more so than they beat us. And a lot of times you don't get those games back, particularly against a team like Kansas City. And I don't know how good Kansas City will be at the end, but the champions have a way of knowing how to win those games. If we're going to be one of those teams, we have to learn how to win those games. Even when we're off, you still got to be able to finish it.
Well, look, I mean, you're probably never going to play the Chiefs again where Travis Kelce is as unproductive as he was today, even with the touchdown catch, right? Chris Jones will be more fully integrated into playing more reps the next time you see them, if you do see them in the postseason. You win the turnover battle. Mahomes wasn't particularly sharp in this game.
No.
I mean, you had so many things work in your favor. And it felt like once Kansas City got that touchdown, all the pressure came off them. They remembered how to play football. How big of a decision was it, in your opinion, to go for it on 4th and 5 late in the first half and end up giving Kansas City the ball near midfield instead of punting it away with a defense that had shut them out to that point?
Now, this is a tough one because, like, the thing about it, and sometimes when you're an offensive coach, like, you view the game strictly from the prism of the offense. And so you're saying the offense is struggling, we got to get it going. But if you really step back and you look at the way the game was going, game was under control. You punt that, put it down at the 5-10 yard line, make them drive the length of the field. Maybe they get a field goal. It's 3-3 at halftime. Even though the score is back to 7-6, you allow Pat Mahomes and that offense to get a rhythm. They come back out the second half, score right away. Yeah. So that's that decision, and then the decision in the red zone, where you go for it at the end of the game, late, where you look, it's 4th and 12 from the 16. You kick the field goal, you're trying to extend the game. Those are decisions that people have questions about because it didn't go our way in terms of converting them. So now you look back like, man, what if we didn't do those things? Would it have changed the outcome?
Plenty to discuss, and the phone lines are open. 355-NFL-1, the number 355-6351. We'll get to those phone calls when we come back. It's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Hey, it's Salem from Travel Camp RV, the official RV dealer of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I wanted to personally invite you to come shop with us. With locations throughout the Southeast, we're likely not far from you. We offer the nation's top RV brands. You can expect value pricing from the get-go and guaranteed best financing options. You can also find us online at travelcamp.com. Our mission is simple, to help more families make more great memories in an RV. Travel Camp RV. We've had the pleasure of doing this since 1982.
Headquartered in Jacksonville, Florida, CSI Companies partners with leading organizations across the country to deliver workforce solutions. As a proud sponsor of your Jacksonville Jaguars, CSI crafts personalized operations to fuel the success of businesses, both big and small. Whether it's finding the right talent for a job or seamlessly managing a project from start to finish, CSI has over 3 decades of experience in getting the job done. This is your workforce solutions reimagined. Visit CSICompanies.com.
Tackle your marketing needs with Kessler Creative. Providing direct mail services for more than a decade, Kessler has a wide range of services from small mailers to large banners and signs. Draft Kessler as your first pick to receive the best targeted mail list. Elevate your business and be on the winning team with Kessler Creative. Kessler Creative, results-driven marketing and proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars. Touchdown at Jaguars away games when you fly nonstop from Jacksonville International Airport. Join the Jaguars in New Orleans and Pittsburgh. Watch them win in Houston and Nashville. All the other Jaguars games are just one short connection away. And if airport parking has you stressed, be sure to visit the Jax Airport website before traveling to the terminal. On it, you'll find information about the status of on-airport parking in real time. See if your favorite areas are available or if you need to call an audible. Visit flyjax.com for more information.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Who will your child grow up to be? Well, that depends on all of us. That's why, along with our groundbreaking medical care, Nemours Children's Health supports programs that address issues like food insecurity and the resources essential to learning. It's all part of creating a healthier future for all children. So they can grow up to be whoever they want to be. Nemours Children's Health, well beyond medicine.
Welcome back. The Scoreboard Show continues after Jaguars lost 17-9 the final. Chiefs over the Jags. Both teams now at 1-1 early in the season. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Bucky Brooks, and your calls 355-NFL-1, the number 355-6351. What you got, Mike?
We got a bunch. Let's start with Duncan in Fernandina Beach up on the Scoreboard Show. Hi, Duncan.
Duncan, hello. Duncan, you're on the air. Duncan,
yeah.
Yes, hello. You're on the air.
Hello?
You're on the air. What's up?
So, I just want to say go Jags, but it's hard to win a football game if you're 0-3 in the red zone and all your points in the red zone are field goals, you know?
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Yeah. Yes, we've gone over this, but it's going to be the theme of the Scoreboard Show, I'm afraid.
It is going to be the theme. You can't settle for threes in the red zone. Like,
is there one thing in particular, or was it a multitude of things that went wrong?
The execution just has been faulty. Whether you pass 3 times in the red zone, where you attempt to run, you haven't been able to really make life easy on yourselves in the red zone. In the tight area, it's really hard to pass it down there because the space is condensed, and the running game has not been a factor where you can just say we're going to sledgehammer it in. It's one of the things that they have to look at. They have to figure out what's going on with the red zone. Probably have to spend more time in practicing the red zone plays, but it's a huge issue because a couple weeks in a row we haven't seen them execute at a high level in the red area.
Oh, I would agree with Duncan. Go Jags. So
Right.
let's come back next week and get to 2-1.
And I would agree with him too. Yeah, no field goals in the red zone,
and we'd rather have touchdowns as well.
Yes.
But Duncan, thank you for the call to get us started here. Let's move along here. Stacy in Arlington is next.
Yeah,
on the
this is me.
Show. Yes, Stacy. Hello.
You're on the air.
It's so loud. I'm sorry. We're so quiet.
You're good.
I was just wondering why, when Trevor gets down, or all of them get down to the 1, why in the world they don't do the quarterback sneak like Philly? Because he's huge and he could definitely make it.
Boy, that's a good one, right, Buck? I mean, that
is good. The tush push, as they call it. Yeah, I don't know why you don't push him in.
Well, I mean, let's compare the two different quarterbacks, right? I mean, Jalen Hurts is a little thicker, right?
He squats like 600 pounds.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts.
Right? Or am I nuts? You're looking at me like I'm nuts.
I mean, he does do that, but it's a quarterback sneak. We're only talking about a half a yard. We're not talking about sneaking it from the 5-yard line. Like, we've seen Trevor use the quarterback sneak before.
Got stuffed last week on one, though.
Yeah, not a lot, though. They're not like a sneaking offense. That's not what they
put it this way. I think would have taken some quarterback sneak efforts rather than whatever that was,
running around,
rolling out, doing a naked bootleg.
Yeah, that wasn't
it wasn't
good.
even a bootleg. It was like a run. It was a quarterback run.
Yeah, down at the 1-yard line, you got to be able to put the ball in. I don't care whether you sneak it, whether you hand it, whether you flip it, but when the ball is on the 1-yard line, that has to be a touchdown every time. First and goal from the 1.
You can't lose 5 yards.
No, you can't go back. You can't go back and change the play calling. Change the play calling makes it even tougher to put the ball in the paint. Yeah, that's an issue.
Thank you, Stacy. We're wondering as well why they didn't get a little bit more direct approach there. Let's get SJ in Mandarin next up here on the Scoreboard Show. Hi, SJ.
SJ, hello.
SJ, you're on the air.
All right. Let's maybe we're coming back to SJ. Let's take a timeout.
All right.
Plenty ahead. Phone lines open. 355 NFL 1 355 6351. Tough loss today. 17-9 Chiefs over the Jaguars. It's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Your hometown gate now has more ways to save. Introducing My Gate Rewards, a new loyalty program with member-exclusive savings and fuel discounts. Earn points on in-store purchases, take advantage of special offers, and save on products you love. Score free coffee, fountain drinks, pizza, and soft serve with Gates frequent shopper clubs. Then use your points on savings at the pump. Download the My Gate Rewards app in the App Store today or ask a store associate for more information. Go from good to Gate.
Hey Jaguars fans, are you tired of being late to the game because you're stuck in traffic looking for a parking space? Well, join the thousands of other Jags fans who already know the smartest way to get to Everbank Field is on JTA's Game Day Express. Shuttles run from 5 locations around Jacksonville. Passes start at $10 and are available exclusively on the MyJTA mobile app. Visit JTAFLA.com for full details. The JTA Game Day Express, where you're winning before the game even starts. Your Game Day Express is sponsored by the Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit Barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbecue.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Restaurant Orsay is a bustling French-American bistro focusing on classic French techniques with their chefs incorporating a traditional Southern influence. Celebrate life's special moments or just relax and enjoy their daily happy hour, weekend brunch, and nightcap on Friday and Saturdays from 10 until midnight. Restaurant Orsay, located in historic Avondale, 3630 Park Street. Visit www.restaurantorsay.com.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
Touchdown at Jaguars away games when you fly nonstop from Jacksonville International Airport. Join the Jaguars in New Orleans and Pittsburgh. Watch them win in Houston and Nashville. All the other Jaguars games are just one short connection away. And if airport parking has you stressed, be sure to visit the Jax Airport website before traveling to the terminal. On it, you'll find information about the status of on-airport parking in real time. See if your favorite areas are available or if you need to call an audible. Visit flyjax.com for more information.
Welcome back. It's the Scoreboard Show. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Bucky Brooks. We're at the Hyundai Studios. The phone lines are open. 355-NFL-1, 355-6351. It's a 17-9 loss for the Jaguars in Week 2 to the Kansas City Chiefs. Jaguars now 1-1. They'll host the Texans next week. What you got, Mike?
All right. We got Marcus on the west side going to join us next year on the Scoreboard Show. Hi, Marcus.
Marcus, hello.
Marcus going 3 times. All right.
This might be a good reminder to not listen to the radio while you're holding hold to us.
It would be a good reminder,
right?
Absolutely.
It's a delay, so
correct.
If you're on hold, hang on hold, listen through the phone.
Yes, and when we come through your phone, then you know you're live on the air.
Correct.
At that moment. Let's see if Jack in Ponte Vedra's got it figured out. Jack, you're on the Scoreboard Show. Go ahead, please.
No.
Jack, you there?
Oh, this is not going well today. It's like the red zone today. This feels like an 0 for 3.
Misfire, JP. We should have kicked the field goal.
I mean,
you know what?
get
After
the
all the
points.
complaining, we should have just taken the points.
Get the points today.
All right. Are we going to go? Let's go for third time's a charm.
Might as well.
It wasn't for the Jags. Maybe it will be for us.
We're waist deep now. Might as well.
Brandon in Arlington is allegedly next up. Hello, Brandon.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, what's up?
You got us.
Hey, so I just wanted to comment on some of the play calling, which I know is a big theme right now. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't just seeing things. So on the play with Christian Kirk, when they did that gimmick play where he was going to do a screen and then he threw it back to the other side to ETN, right before that they had just ran a screen to Christian Kirk. Literally the exact same play, it just wasn't a fake. I'm just making sure I'm not going crazy because they're literally doing the exact same thing back to back. And then instead of running the ball on the 1, they take a 4-yard, negative, and then decide to let Trevor Lawrence run it out the backfield, which just doesn't make any sense to me when you're losing field right at the red zone. But I just wanted to make sure I wasn't going crazy, and I'll take the rest of my comments off there. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for the call. And yeah, let's start with that double pass thing and that whole situation and what happened on that play. Let's start with that. And yeah, the play before that too. What did you think of that scenario?
Well, I didn't necessarily like the double pass, but I never like those things until they work. I mean, and so I don't know how often they work on the pro level, but we see
Freddie
it in college.
said, I think he said Anton Harrison missed the block there. It seemed like the ball took a long time to get over there. Like if it had gotten there quicker, it seemed like ETN would have had a little bit of room to run, but then the seal block was missed, so then the guy was able to come back. You know?
It just seems like a lot of work for a little game. Yeah. Almost like an end around when you're in the pros that you rarely see them go. And so didn't necessarily like that. Wasn't in love with, like, it's crazy, the little flip back pass to Jamal Agnew, which was a huge turnover. Because we just get a turnover, we do that, you give it back to him.
Yep.
Those little things. But that's the challenge of being a play caller. When you get into your bag and it doesn't work, you are subject to criticism. And so Doug's done a lot of things, and Press, they've done a lot of things that are edgy, and it's worked out for him. Today, those things just didn't work out for him.
And the other question was the first and goal with the 1 play. That's going to be talked about all week long, and how it turned out.
Yeah, that's going to be talked about a lot, and how it should have turned out, why they should have been able to score. But sometimes it just doesn't work out, and that'll be something that they'll go in, they'll look at the tape, and they're trying to clean all that stuff up so they can avoid having those issues. We're only 2 games in, but the offense has to understand in the red zone, man, execution is coveted at a premium. So they got to up the ante when it comes to the execution.
All right, looks like we've got Blake. I don't think it's him. I think we've got Blake on the line, though. The boat.
Oh, that.
I didn't know.
Of course.
Maybe saying, hey, I won the second game in 2018. It could have been that. It's
been a while. Call. I'm sorry.
Blake, you're on the Scoreboard Show. Go ahead, please.
Hello, Blake.
Hello.
Hey, you're on the air. What's up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. What's up?
In reference to the play calling, are we making too much of a deal of Press Taylor calling the plays, or not enough big of a deal?
Bucky?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. It became a public story, so now you have the right to kind of weigh in and ask those questions. Before, we always assumed it was Doug Pederson making all the calls. Now you have Press Taylor making the calls, Doug maybe weighing in, maybe vetoing some things. Yeah, so, I mean, it's right that you can question some of those things, just like you would question Doug when some of those play calls go awry.
Right, I guess, but if we didn't know that Press was calling the plays, how much heat would Doug be getting for the play calls right now? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like because the switch has been made, people are looking for why this might not be a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Had we not known it, would we have been that
probably not
attentive to it?
Probably not, because we would have put all of our trust and hope into the head coach. But now that he opened up that box and let everyone know that press is calling some of the game, if not all of the game, yeah, Press Taylor now becomes fair game when it comes to criticism, because before we thought he was just a communicator, not necessarily the designer or the play caller. It's different level of expectations when you're the coordinator and the play caller, as opposed to just being the guy behind the scenes that's organizing everything.
We also got that, I mean, through all the questions about this in the last week or so, that, hey, the final veto power still rests in the hands of the head coach. Like, if things aren't going great, and we talked about it on Wednesday, Bucky, on Huddle Up, like, he can jump in the headset and be like, hey, we need to do this and this.
He could certainly say, let's kick the field goal.
He can.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean, definitely
that's
could do
all.
that.
Those kind of decisions are head coach decisions anyway.
Yeah, that's all head coach stuff. And you're right. He could have jumped in and said, hey, I'm going to take the next series. I'm going to call these. Or whatever he deems fit. He's a head coach and offensive coordinator. So if he feels like he would do a better job calling it, then he should call it.
Yeah, let's take a timeout. Plenty of time to get calls in. 355-NFL-1, the number 355-6351. Final score, Chiefs 17, Jaguars 9. It's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Brooks Rehabilitation is hiring nurses who want to be empowered as advocates, educators, care coordinators, and leaders in exceptional patient care. They have open RN, LPN, HHA, and CNA positions across their inpatient, skilled nursing, and home health care settings. Join their nationally recognized team, where you'll serve as a central team member doing what you do best, providing exceptional patient care. Apply at careers.brooksrehab.org.
The game may be over, but the excitement is just beginning. The Jaguars played a great game, and J-Tech is proud to be part of a community that supports our team. But before we go, let's take a moment to talk about an important part of our community, tradesmen and women. J-Tech believes that everyone deserves the opportunity to learn valuable skills and build a successful career. They're proud to support the Jaguars and our community by offering high-quality trades education. Learn more at jtech.org.
Hey, it's Salem from Travel Camp RV, the official RV dealer of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I wanted to personally invite you to come shop with us. With locations throughout the Southeast, we're likely not far from you. We offer the nation's top RV brands. You can expect value pricing from the get-go and guaranteed best financing options. You can also find us online at travelcamp.com. Our mission is simple, to help more families make more great memories in an RV. Travel Camp RV. We've had the pleasure of doing this since 1982.
When it comes to water, choose our team, the winning team. Choose CGC Water Treatment. CGC Water Treatment works, and it works for DG too. Former Jags QB, David Garrard.
If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Discover the Kinetico difference.
Call CGC Water Treatment at 844-CGC-JAGS or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Kinetico dealers.
Jaguars fans, Everbank is building its future on the partnership and the performance you know and trust. Take advantage of high-yield savings solutions with money market, online savings, CDs, and more. Visit everbank.com/Jaguars today for your financial advantage. Everbank, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show. Scoreboard Show continues right now.
Chiefs 17, Jaguars 9. The Scoreboard Show continues. JP, Mike, Bucky.
Phone call roulette. see what we get.
Well, you never know.
Sometimes it's black, sometimes it's white, sometimes you get that 00, JP.
There's only one way to find out.
Let's roll it, baby. Let's go to Andy in Arlington, I believe, is next on the Scoreboard Show. Andy, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you fine, man. Go ahead, please.
Can you guys hear me? I can't hear you guys at all.
Oh, no.
We've got you.
We hear you fine. Go ahead.
Okay. Hey, I'm sorry to call in late. We stayed late. Watched the players come out of the tunnel. One of the hottest games ever, I've got to say. Golly, that was hot. I hope the coach's brain didn't get fried, because I just wanted to ask about that play calling at the end. It seemed like, man, when you're playing the Kansas City Chiefs and you're down, by 8 points, you got a chance to kick a field goal with 4 minutes left, and then all you got to do is have one good play at the end and win the dang thing. You guys talked about it. I hate to be redundant.
That's okay, man. We appreciate your calling in and making your point. Bucky, I mean, it's going to be one of the themes of the week for sure. And again, you can, to me, talk about the play call that they decided to try and run, right, throwing it to Ridley on the back line, and maybe that's the Press Taylor decision. I think the decision to go for it has to be a Doug Pederson decision at that point.
Yeah, he certainly has. The head coach weighs in on all those things, and I understand what the caller is saying. You have an opportunity to extend the game. You take the points there.
Take the points, yeah.
It's a 5-point game. You punt, you kick off to them, you get a stop, you score a touchdown, you win.
Even if you give up a field goal, you're in it.
Yeah, you're in it. It also changes how they have to approach it from a play calling standpoint. It keeps pressure on Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes to keep playing the game as if it's a normal game. It's one. They'll sit on Monday and they'll talk about it as a staff. Hey, we get in that situation again. How could we play it? Those things. But, yeah, I mean, that's one that you certainly could question.
Yeah, Andy, we're glad you survived the heat out there and lived to cheer another day.
Yeah, well, it was that hot, Bucky, huh? On the field? How was it?
It was smoking. I mean, it was hot. It was hot. A lesser man might not have made it out there on the sideline.
Okay.
Everybody, yeah, but it was not a good thing I didn't have any impurities in my body, any adult beverages, whatever. I would have sweated that one out. I would have sweated that one out. That would not have been a good day.
All right, Andy, thank you. Let's get to Jack's Beach. John is up next. No, not John. Marvell in Fruit Cove. How about that? Marvell, you're on the Scoreboard Show. Go ahead, please.
Hello, Marvell.
Marvell, can you hear us?
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. All right, next.
All right. Ben in Jack's Beach. Is that next? Ben, are you with us? There's someone who's listening to the radio.
Ben, you're on the air.
Jack's Beach. John is up next.
Yeah, you're way behind. You're like 3 callers behind now,
what
Ben.
In the world is going on tonight?
Listen to your phone.
First home game.
First home game.
First home game.
So
oh, my gosh.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, first home game.
We got any more?
Terrell. We've got Terrell. I have no idea. In parts unknown, just like the old wrestling days. Terrell, you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Excellent. What's on your mind?
You guys going in and out, but I just had something I want to ask the group. Compliments to the defense. I think we did a really good job. Just want to understand you guys' perspective. Do you think we really contained Kelsey like that, or do you think he wasn't 100%?
He was targeted 9 times, 4 catches, 26 yards.
I definitely think he wasn't 100%.
Had a 9-yard touchdown, Bucky. What do you think?
Oh, he wasn't 100%. He was very. I mean, he was limping around like he wasn't.
He was catching it and getting tackled and not much dynamic.
Not
anything.
Not doing much, but his presence is just enough to give Pat Mahomes confidence down in the red zone in particular. That's where they do their work. 47 career touchdowns they had together. So we didn't necessarily contain him. He held him. We did a good job after he caught it, though. We didn't let him get loose.
A couple of those plays, after the fact that he was involved in some of the extracurricular things. That's his MO.
It was really edgy. It was down on the field. It was really edgy, and sometimes it's the case of the old proud lion and the cub. We're the little cubs trying to kind of climb the mountain. They keep smacking them around and knocking them around and talking to them and those things. And so until we beat them, we don't get that kind of treatment.
Hey, look, and the next time, if you're lucky enough to face them again, and that means you both made it to the postseason, could be in Kansas City because you're going to lose the tiebreaker, and you're probably going to get a full strength Chris Jones, a full strength Travis Kelce. You're probably not going to win the turnover margin. I mean, you might, but you had so many boxes you checked today at home. in that withering heat, and you let them off the hook. So.
Yeah, you let them off the hook, but hopefully if there is a rematch, you run it back. Hopefully the Jaguars play at a much better level. There won't be any carryover from this game to a future game, but you do hope that you learn some of the lessons from this one and you play much better the second time around.
Amen. One more here before the break, JP. We'll try Marshall in Ponte Vedra Beach. Marshall, hello.
Marshall, you're on the air. Marshall. All right, let's take a timeout. We'll come back. Final thoughts, final moments. That's kind of how the day has gone, I think. Sums it all up. 17-9, Chiefs over the Jaguars. It's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Your hometown gate now has more ways to save. Introducing My Gate Rewards, a new loyalty program with member-exclusive savings and fuel discounts. Earn points on in-store purchases, take advantage of special offers, and save on products you love. Score free coffee, fountain drinks, pizza, and soft serve with Gates frequent shopper clubs. Then use your points on savings at the pump. Download the My Gate Rewards app in the App Store today or ask a store associate for more information. Go from good to Gate.
Cancer patients across the Southeast make Baptist MD Anderson Cancer Center in Jacksonville their first choice for treatment. Dr. Jonathan Melquist explains why.
We have so many resources that can help a patient from the very onset, and we just have a degree of unity and cohesive care that is hard to match. It's especially with the tougher cancers that we really excel.
Appointments available now. Call 844-632-2278.
Jaguars fans, huddle up. Do you own a vehicle made in the last 10 years? If your car is outside of factory warranty or with no warranty coverage, get the best defense against expensive auto repairs with CarShield, the official auto protection partner of the Jaguars. With plans to fit every budget, CarShield helps you cover up to 5,000 parts and systems. Call 800-471-1223 now or go to carshield.com/Jaguars. That's 800-471-1223 or go to carshield.com/Jaguars. Go Jags!
Headquartered in Jacksonville, Florida, CSI Companies partners with leading organizations across the country to deliver workforce solutions. As a proud sponsor of your Jacksonville Jaguars, CSI crafts personalized operations to fuel the success of businesses, both big and small. Whether it's finding the right talent for a job or seamlessly managing a project from start to finish, CSI has over 3 decades of experience in getting the job done. This is your workforce solutions reimagined. Visit CSICompanies.com.
Hey, Jags fans, Everbank is driven by performance, strength, and security. Start building your legacy today with Everbank's Yield Pledge accounts, all of which deliver a yield in the top 5% of competitive accounts nationwide. Visit everbank.com/Jaguars for your earned advantage. Everbank, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Restaurant Orsay is a bustling French-American bistro focusing on classic French techniques with their chefs incorporating a traditional Southern influence. Celebrate life's special moments or just relax and enjoy their daily happy hour, weekend brunch, and nightcap on Friday and Saturdays from 10 until midnight. Restaurant Orsay, located in historic Avondale, 3630 Park Street. Visit www.restaurantorsay.com.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show. Scoreboard Show continues right now.
Final moments, Scoreboard Show. The 5th quarter is next. Ought to be interesting tonight.
Yeah.
If you didn't get in here, which many did not, you can probably get in there. The 5th quarter with Hacker and Leon.
Get in line behind Junior.
And Coach.
Junior's on hold right now.
Hey, Jaguars fall 17-9. Bucky, our last thoughts here. The headlines this week will be about the play calling, the red zone, the lack of execution down there, and all those things. The defense played pretty well today. They won the turnover battle. They won the penalty battle by far. And it was a 1-score loss to Kansas City. Most top games in the league are one-score losses. I understand that. But as Doug told you after the game, they're not going to hit the panic button here, right? It's just kind of clean some things up and continue to move forward.
Yeah, week 2 is too soon to hit the panic button. Not pleased with the execution. Want to work on that. Want to continue to get that dialed in. But it's too early to panic about all those things. This is a team that still feels like they can get back on track and still accomplish a lot of things, but they have to figure out some of these lessons the hard way. And, whether it's red zone execution on offense, being able to get off the field on defense, special teams, key situations, you have to be able to keep all those teams, those units humming at a high level. We'll eventually get there. It's just going to take some time.
Yeah, I don't think anybody panics here, but you got to be aware that, I don't know what the answer is to protecting Trevor Lawrence better, but that's got to improve, right? There's got to be fewer bodies flying around.
There have to be fewer bodies flying around. Some of that may be more of a quick pass game. They do a lot of quick passes with the screen game and all that, but maybe they can do some more of those things. They can do some more RPOs, get the ball out of his hands. It's tough, though, because it all starts up front. Those guys, one of those guys, they're going to have to double team Chris Jones, keep him out of the paint.
Yeah. Tough one today. 17-9 final score. Bucky, have a great week. We'll talk to you on Wednesday because that's the Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks show. It's in the title of the show,
Yeah, it should be.
Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks. We can't have a show without Bucky.
Come on. Got to have your name in the marquee.
It's on there, that's for sure. Big bright lights. It's the Bucky Brooks show.
Certain head coaches in the past sometimes opted not to show up for their show. We'll go without being named.
Yeah, I thought that's
possible to continue without them.
Bucky brings the heat every Wednesday. You guys got Jaguars today, tomorrow?
We do have Jaguars today. No victory Monday, unfortunately. It's non-victory week. But David Garrard will be in. Tony Smith will be with me, and we'll talk about it for the 2 hours. And I wonder if play calling will come up at all. I'm going to guess yes. It's just a wild guess, though.
Execution should come up as well.
A lot of things should come up. There's no question.
Hold everybody accountable.
I anticipate that most of the people who call will actually also speak when we go to them. That's going to be my guess as well tomorrow. So
best wishes with that.
I'm hoping for the best.
That's
JP.
Mike Dempsey. Bucky Brooks will talk to you. Thanks to our entire crew here in the studio, and thanks to you for listening. Final score: Chiefs 17, Jaguars 9. Fifth quarter is next. This has been the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.